Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
Last quarter, an experiment changed a billing score and froze payments for 2 days across a global product. Engineers worked around the clock. The business paused all ML spending until the incident was traced and contained. That single missing guardrail cost weeks of momentum and a lot of trust.
I'm your host, Mirko. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen. Today, we're going to stop treating experimentation like an art project and start treating it like engineering, fast, measurable, and safe.
Here's what matters. Speed without guardrails is a liability. Governance without speed is a straitjacket. The goal is simple. Enable many small, fast experiments that fail cheaply and scale only when they produce measurable value. Over the next segment, I'll walk you through the playbook I've seen work in large enterprises and the concrete moves you can make on Monday. We learned that the hard way. A pilot we thought was isolated slipped into a downstream billing job. 2 days of paused payments, budget frozen. Everyone paid attention after that.
There are 3 repeated failure modes I see in organizations. First, experiments are not isolated from critical systems. Second, metrics are disconnected from business outcomes. Third, governance either doesn't exist or it's so heavy teams stop experimenting. Each of those is fixable.
So what is governed experimentation? Short answer, treat experiments like products. Give them scope, success criteria, safety limits, and a clear path to production or retirement. That structure preserves velocity by making decisions predictable, not by adding friction.
Start with scope and KPIs. Fund experiments against an explicit business outcome, not curiosity alone. Pick a leading indicator tied to value, incremental revenue per user, false positive reduction in fraud detection, or net promoter lift versus baseline. Then set a threshold for additional investment. Require minimal statistical rigor. Pre-register the primary metric, define the test population, and set sample size and confidence targets before you look at results. No post hoc cherry picking. Pre-registration stops noisy signals from becoming bad decisions. We adopted pre-registration after that outage. It wasn't popular at first, but it saved us from chasing spurious lifts. When teams know they have to register the plan, they design cleaner experiments. Next, staging. Keep discovery in a sandbox. Move to a pilot with a controlled slice of traffic, and only then consider full rollout. Use feature flags, traffic steering, and time-boxed pilots. If a pilot raises latency above an agreed threshold or error rates spike, the flag flips and the change is rolled back automatically. That simple rule prevents small experiments from becoming operational incidents.
The rollback automation was the game changer for us. We defined 2 thresholds, one for user-facing latency, one for downstream data integrity. When either trips, the system reverts and an alert goes to ops. No 2 a.m. Slack chaos.
Tooling and telemetry are non-negotiable. Every experiment must expose who triggered it, the model and dataset versions, sample identifiers, key metrics, and cost signals. Model registries, dataset versioning, and automated data quality gates make audits fast. If your team can't answer what trained this model and when in under 5 minutes, you don't have production-grade experimentation.
Governance should be lightweight and risk-tiered. Low-risk experiments follow a checklist. Medium risk gets a rapid review by an ops or risk owner within 48 hours. High risk gets a short cross-functional sign-off within a week. Automate pre-flight checks, resource quotas, data access audits, compliance flags, so failures are blocked automatically rather than queued for days.
We built a 3-tier checklist and put it in the CI pipeline. If a change touches production schemas or billing keys, it fails the pipeline until a human signs off. That did 2 things. It reduced surprises and it forced teams to think about production coupling earlier.
Let me give you 2 compact examples. One company ran strict isolation and time-boxed pilots for personalization features across 3 regions. Time to learn dropped by roughly 40%, and production incidents stayed flat. They scaled experiments because failure was cheap and contained. Contrast that with the earlier billing incident. A pilot changed a scoring threshold. A downstream job consumed those values, and payments paused for 48 hours. The outage cost more than the research budget and froze future experimentation. From a leadership perspective, treat experimentation like a portfolio. Seed many small bets with stage funding. Require clear exit criteria to unlock next stage funding. Hold product and data leaders jointly accountable for outcome KPIs, and make sure ops can pause a rollout immediately if safety metrics degrade. Align incentives so teams are rewarded for validated learning and measurable impact, not just deployments.
Cross-functional ownership matters. Ops owns system health, legal owns compliance and customer risk, product owns outcome metrics, and data science owns experimental design and statistical validity. Make those responsibilities visible in your governance playbook so decisions aren't made in ad hoc Slack threads at 2 a.m.
Measure success by cycle time to validated learning, cost per incremental outcome, and portfolio hit rate, the percent of experiments that produce deployable value. Put a hard ceiling on experiment spend relative to expected return. That keeps teams honest. That's the difference between models and value. Looking forward, expect 3 pressures over the next 12 to 24 months. 1. Increased regulatory and audit scrutiny on models and datasets. 2. Scale will amplify coupling between experiments and downstream systems, so invest in observability now. 3. Tooling will improve. Model registries, automated fairness checks, and cost-aware orchestration will become standard. Your job is to fund those platform foundations early so scaling doesn't scale risk. We started a small platform fund specifically for observability and lineage tools. It wasn't glamorous, but when an audit hit last quarter, we were ready. Invest small, early, and deliberately. 2 concrete moves you can make on Monday. 1. Implement a time-boxed stage gate with an enforced pre-flight checklist that includes isolation, telemetry, rollback plan, and a clear business-aligned KPI. 2. Move your experimentation budget to a stage portfolio model with explicit kill criteria and monthly portfolio reviews. Do those 2 things and you will reduce surprise incidents while preserving exploratory speed. A quick reflection before we close. Governed experimentation is not compliance theater. It's engineering discipline applied to discovery. When small failures are cheap and contained, learning compounds. That's how you turn a scattershot experiment culture into a dependable innovation engine. If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.